Next item. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seats. The auction will restart shortly. Who are you, sir? Sir, please identify yourself. You can't just...
I am Prince Nuada, Silverlance, son of King Balor, and I am here, sir, to reclaim what is rightfully mine. Let this remind you why you once feared the dark.
Hey guys, what is up? Nihat here with Film Comics Explained, and today we'll be taking a look at the Tooth Fairies that were featured in the awesome supernatural action flick Hellboy 2, which was directed by Guillermo del Toro. In the film, it's explained that an ancient war between humans and all mythical creatures in the world had occurred. After the creatures were pushed back into the forest by the humans, Balor, king of the elves, had accepted an offer made by the goblins to build him an indestructible mechanical army that could be controlled by his crown. Encouraged by his son Nuada, Balor reluctantly approved their construction, and the subsequent battles that followed nearly wiped out all of humanity. Ashamed of all the blood on his hands, Balor then formed a truce with humans, allowing them to keep the cities while the creatures were forced to retreat back into the forests. Balor then split the crown into 3 pieces, keeping one for himself, giving another piece to his daughter Nuala, before handing the last piece over to humans as a gesture of good faith. His son Nuada, who had lived in exile for the hundreds of years that followed, then returned to the scene with the desire of acquiring each of the pieces of the crown, which would grant him command over the Golden Army that he believed was his birthright. Nuada soon discovers that the piece that was entrusted to humanity was being auctioned. Furious for the years he had to endure in exile, and angry about the clear lack of respect and appreciation shown towards his kind, Nuada had essentially illegally purchased Tooth Fairies from the troll market, starved them for a length of time, before finally releasing them at the auction, which saw them quickly feeding on all of the guests. These Tooth Fairies were essentially tiny, ravenous, winged creatures that were believed to hail from the Black Forest in Germany, and were known to have an insatiable desire to feed, which often saw them devouring the flesh, tissue, and bones of organic creatures they encountered. However, as their name would suggest, they did prefer the consumption of teeth, as its high concentration of calcium was most nourishing for them. Though they were tiny in size, they featured a humanoid top half, with 4 jagged joint legs resembling the arachnids from Starship Troopers that I had covered in another video and which I'll leave links to below. Due to the fact that their primary food source was calcium, their entire endoskeleton was extremely tough, making them relatively difficult to kill. Individually, the Tooth Fairies weren't really much of a threat, and although they were small and quick, they could be handled with relative ease. The problem was that you rarely found them alone, as they preferred to move in swarms, which enabled them to quickly overpower creatures that were multiple times their size. When they began their attack on prey, they would immediately target the victim's teeth before eating every ounce of the creature until nothing remained but fairy poop. They are so effective at overpowering their prey that they can be seen devouring a live body in a matter of seconds. Despite their savage appetite for calcium, they are explained as being sentient beings that were capable of communicating with other mythical creatures. Their speed, small size, physical composition, and swarm tactics made the Tooth Fairies extremely difficult creatures to kill, with bullets rarely ever finding the target. In the film, Red was able to develop a technique of squashing the fairies, which was much more helpful than destroying them one by one, but it was ultimately Liz who used her pyrokinetic abilities to incinerate the swarm of Tooth Fairies, proving that fire was the most effective way of dealing with the tiny monsters. Well, that's all for today, folks. A big thank you to you guys who suggested we take a look at the Tooth Fairies seen in Hellboy 2. If there's any other content you would like me to check out, please don't hesitate to ask. As always, it's been a pleasure. Nihat here with Film Comics Explained. Thanks for stopping by.
He's kind of cute.